Welcome to this weekly tarot reading for inner healing. The cards that came out are so beautiful, talking about a transformation, a new way of seeing things, finally being able to see clearly through the fog, and learning, though, how to be brave and also confident in that new way of seeing things. Let's dive in. So, what is the soul lesson this week? Let's have a look. Oh, interesting. We got the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords is all about basically mental clarity, like having a flash, a spark. You can see it in this card. It's like out of nowhere. Maybe you've been in the dark, maybe in the fog, and then all of a sudden you see clearly. And that's what this card is saying. And so what I'm getting is this week's lesson is about dealing with that clarity that can come kind of out of the blue. And how do you deal with that new truth? Because swords and tarot have to do with our thoughts and the way we think about things and also our personal truths. And so this week I'm getting that maybe there's going to be a new way of seeing something. All of a sudden, you might just be able to see things in a different way, see through the darkness that you didn't see before, and have this new way of seeing things. And that can sometimes be wonderful, but it can also sometimes be a little bit nerve-wracking because it's like you have this new way of seeing things. And so it's all about learning to deal with that. Let's have a look. What are the weaknesses to look out for with regards to that? Okay, two cards wanted to come out. We got the Hierophant and the Ten of Swords. Interesting, another sword. So the Hierophant is a major arcana, and it's funny, you see that flash of lightning in both of these cards. And what I'm getting here is that the Hierophant is all about conforming and kind of like fitting into something, right? And usually it's about fitting into other groups. Usually, traditionally, it's been about religion, but it can also be about fitting into society somehow. It could even be just fitting into your friend group. And so, with regards to this, it could be, of course, this truth is kind of maybe like going against what is kind of more in your group of people that you're wanting to kind of be with or in. But I'm getting something completely different. I'm also getting that your weakness might be to not have this idea be conforming with the old way of you thinking, because this, again, the Hierophant is about our kind of like what we believe, our structures, the kind of like belief systems that we grow up in. And sometimes we have our own, maybe even something that used to be new and novel and something that worked wonderfully for you. Maybe this new idea is going to come challenge that. And so your weakness might be to be thinking, how is this fitting in? Or how is that going to actually work? Or maybe it's actually going to make you feel a little bit strange. And that's where I think this card comes in, the Ten of Swords, because sometimes when that happens, when we're in the process of changing the way we think or seeing something from a completely different angle, it can make us feel really tired, because this card is all about feeling kind of defeated or kind of like stabbed in the back, almost stabbed in the back by your own thought, almost by this new idea coming in. It can just make you feel really kind of in a heap. And so this week, watch out for that. Even though you might feel a little bit kind of distressed, maybe even by this new idea or this new way of thinking in your way of being, it's actually going to be good. It's just that it's challenging your old way of being. And so, anyway, that's something to watch out for this week. Let's see what to lean into. What are your strengths that you can rely on this week? Oh my gosh, that is so funny. We got another major arcana and we got the Fool. And I just love how these two images are so kind of different. You have this older crow that's maybe the older way of you thinking about things, and then what to lean into, maybe this new person that you're becoming and beginning to be. And I love how the crow is actually looking in the past to the left. Yeah, to the left. And the Fool, the little chick, is looking to the right, to the future. And the Fool is all about that beginner's mindset and being open to taking risks and kind of jumping off the cliff, that kind of like not really knowing how things are going to work, but trusting. And I think that's exactly what it is that when you have this kind of new way of seeing, you might see through that fog. It's about trusting that you've been through the cycles before. You've had to start over before, and it's okay, and to trust that. And also to have fun with it, because as we jump off that little branch, we kind of like learn to grow those wings. And as scary as that is, it can also be quite a fun ride. And so, yeah, the strength is that you've already been through those many cycles before of learning, and that also that you have that beginner's mindset in you, and maybe also that a little bit of that curiosity. So To end this reading, let's have a look. Let's see what our guides or your higher self, a message of love from them as you're going through this. Wow, we got two cards wanting to come out again, and we got the Death card, another major arcana, and the Five of Wands. And I just love the fact that there's this bird theme throughout this reading. You have the Hierophant, then you have the chick, and it's almost like you have to die. This crow has to die in order to have the chick. And so the message of love is to trust that, because death is not about death. It's not about this crow dying. It's about it transforming. It's about it transforming into the chick. And so death is just about, I think the message of love is to trust the transformation. And I think that's why this card is coming out, the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands is about kind of like conflict or competition, or that kind of just, it's not necessarily feeling good. And transformation doesn't always feel good. But I think that's the message of love, is to trust that even if you are kind of like feeling maybe while you're going through this, maybe torn through by your old ways of thinking, or maybe your old society, or like groups that you were fitting into and you're no longer really fitting into them. And so it brings a little bit of conflict and a little bit of unease and kind of being pulled in different directions, to trust the transformation. And just to remember that in order to become the chick, you do have to go through that death period. And again, this is actually the first of the major arcanas. And so it's signaling those new cycles beginning. And it comes from that new idea, that new way of seeing things. And sometimes that can be challenging, because it makes us kind of challenge our old ways. Also, death is, as much as it's promising something new and a new chapter afterwards, transformation isn't always easy, as we can see with this card. But I love also in this first initial card that came out, just that strength of like, I think it's the soul lesson is also about learning to hold your new truth, hold your new way of thinking with that confidence. Look at that sword, the way it's confident. And just, it's almost like it has that, that infinity sign, just to remember that these cycles continue. The cycle of this that then ends in death, they keep coming around. And as we go more and more through cycles, we become stronger and stronger. And we learn also how to keep evolving through the change and to be that really strong sword. So on that, I'm wishing you lots of love and lots of laughter, and I will see you next week. Thanks so much for watching.